City Council Member, Agency Director, Authority Members, Hughes Leslie, absent. Molly.
Present.
Mann.
Present.
Vice Mayor, Vice Chairman Christ.
Present.
Mayor, Chairman Paris. We have a quorum.
I'll make a motion to accept excuse Lauren Hughes Leslie.
Second.
absence.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously.
Mr. Mayor, will you turn on your microphone?
Is that better?
Yes, thank you.
All right, you want to do the roll call for the Housing Authority?
Housing Authority Members Harvey, absent. Molly.
Present.
Mann.
Present.
Vice Chairman Christ.
Present.
Chairman Zeto.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. The invocation tonight is Dr. Nathan McWhirter, Desert Vineyard Church. How's David doing? How's David doing?
David is doing very, very well. Yeah, he's in good health.
If you see him, tell him I've been praying for him.
Thank you so much. Yeah, he was here just on Sunday preaching. So
Really? I
he's-
wish
yeah,
I'd come. I'd like to have seen you.
yeah. I'll let you know next time he comes out.
Thank you. That'd be great.
Come, Holy Spirit. Father, we confidently approach your presence because of your Son, Jesus Christ, who through his sacrifice has reconnected us to your presence. We come to ask for your wisdom, your favor, your guidance, and your presence. In your love, we find peace and the courage to do what is right and lead with empathy and conviction. I pray for the leaders in this room, those who have accepted the responsibility, the burden, and the task of guiding our city. I pray that your divine wisdom will guide their thoughts and their minds. I pray for unity and purpose and against division within their assembly. Bring a sense of peace to their deliberations and their work. Allow their unique voices to speak for all of our community, especially those who do not have a voice. Father, I pray for our city. I pray for the citizens that you love. Help this council bring safety to those who are vulnerable, order to any chaos, and bring prosperity, growth, and opportunity so that this city may thrive. Father, the issues that our city faces are complex. With your guidance, we will continue our efforts, and our city will prosper with your increased presence. I pray that you would unite the city government, law enforcement, county and state officials, nonprofits, and houses of worship for the city's good and the community's welfare. Forgive our churches when we have sowed division. Forgive us when we had let fear divide us and keep us from being part of the healing. Please help our community support the efforts of this council. Help us feed the hungry and clothe the naked. Please help us provide housing for those who do not have homes and safety for all. Help us remove the drugs that tear lives apart. Help us grow our schools, our industry, our hospitals, and our culture. Where there is a correction needed, bring correction with mercy. Where there is necessary healing, bring your love and peace. In the name of Jesus Christ, Savior, Redeemer, Rescuer, Healer, the one who ushered in the kingdom of God, the one who gave us authority to pray in his name, I bless each individual in this room with an anointing of your presence, wisdom, and peace. Guide this year. May it be the year of the Lord's favor. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. We should transcribe that and make it the city prayer. Can we do that, Allison? Allison is looking at me like maybe I'm nuts.
It was the same look that when you said, let's put in God we trust.
That's right.
And I got it there.
Thank you very much. Raj.
Please put right hand on your hand and join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So how do you want to do the presentation?
The captain's going to come up and share the story, and then the recognitions are there with you, and you come down and recognize the deputies.
Okay, what we should probably do is go ahead and have the captain tell us the story, because it's a compelling story. And then have them come up and we'll do it here. Okay, good, thank you.
Good evening, City Council. Mayor Paris, Vice Mayor Christ, Councilmember Mann, Councilmember Molly, and city officials. Tonight we're here to honor the heroic efforts of two of our employees at Lancaster Station, one of them being Deputy Jeremiah Nurse and Sergeant Colin Reddy. So both of these fine individuals work in the city of Lancaster, usually at night when most of us are asleep. And on August 15th, 2023, at approximately 2:30 in the morning, Sergeant Reddy was patrolling in the area of Avenue K and 15th Street West. He observed a vehicle that had been involved in a traffic collision, and the vehicle had overturned and struck a electrical power box. And the vehicle was on its side with its driver's door facing down. And when he arrived on scene, the vehicle began to catch fire based on the collision itself and then also touching that electrical box. So Sergeant Reddy immediately exited his vehicle and attempted to extinguish the flames and immediately called for assistance from units in the field, which Deputy Nurse responded. When he was on scene, the individual that was inside the vehicle, feet were protruding outside the doorway of the vehicle, and he appeared trapped. They immediately requested assistance from the fire department also, but in the interim, the vehicle began engulfing in flames on the front end in the motor compartment area. Both Deputy Nurse and Sergeant Reddy tried diligently to get the occupant out of the vehicle to no avail. Deputy Nurse retrieved an extinguisher and was trying to smash the sunroof in order to get the victim out. They diligently worked on that effort, and ultimately, as the vehicle became engulfed, the victim was able to slide himself by the coaxing of Deputy Nurse to the rear of the vehicle where Sergeant Reddy had opened the back hatch of this SUV. As he went to attempt to get in the vehicle to rescue the victim, the fire became so heavy and the smoke that he really couldn't get in there, and he attempted to use a long metal pole to have the victim reach it and pull him to safety. Ultimately, the fire began engulfing the victim. He was screaming for help, saying that the fire was burning him. Sergeant Reddy immediately went into action, entered into the back of the vehicle, at one point where the flames could be seen almost striking him in the face. He backed out for a second and quickly jumped back in and was able to grab the victim by the shoulders and pull him out of the vehicle seconds before that entire vehicle became engulfed. For their diligent efforts those night, we at the department are also doing a life-saving award for these deputies. But also tonight, we want to honor them for their heroic efforts that night in saving the life of the victim. Sergeant Reddy also had to go to the hospital at night for some minor first-degree burns that he sustained. So we really want to honor them tonight and honor them for that heroic efforts of protecting our community and our citizens in the middle of the night. Thank you. The video speaks for itself, and unfortunately, I was not able to provide that tonight on request of our county council due to pending litigation with that case. But the video is truly inspiring and instrumental when you watch their actions that day.
Captain, you got the most heroic thing I've heard the entire time I've been mayor, and you left the video at home?
I was told no, I couldn't play it, sir. I do have some pictures.
Are you done?
Yes, sir, I am.
If you can come up, we'd like to give you these. I mean, in light of that story, we should be giving him a car.
Ken, Rex,
Sure.
take Ken up there with you.
I'm sorry?
Take Ken up there with you.
Yeah, I will. Come on.
Colin is actually working the field tonight. He's really itching to get back out there with all.
I need That was amazing. It truly was amazing. Oh, I'm turning the meeting over to Kitty Zato.
All right, I'm going to open the public hearing for HAPH1. Are there any speaker cards?
No speaker cards.
All right. Waive staff report.
We could waive the staff report.
And then I will now close the public hearing. Is there a motion and a second to?
I'll move HAPH1.
Second that?
All right, let's vote.
We have to move that adopt, find, and authorize. 1, 2, 3, and 4.
I second that.
All right, let's vote.
Oh, I don't vote, do I?
I would have to clear the
Reset
board
it.
and reset it.
Reset it.
All right, passes unanimously. Turn the meeting back over to Mayor Paris.
Thank you. So Marvin, tell me where I'm at.
All right, on
Page 2 of the script, and it's the consent calendar for California Choice Energy Authority.
Okay, anything to be removed? No, sir. Thank you. Any speaker cards?
No.
Is there a motion and a
I'll
second?
move CCEA, CC1
And 2?
Yeah,
and 2.
Yeah. As the consent calendar is comprised, I'll second that motion.
Let's vote. Then it's unanimous. This has to be a typo. Successory agency?
That is, it's the successor agency consent calendar.
So it's the successor agency consent calendar.
Or
right?
if you put the two words together, it becomes the successory, yes.
I'm not going there. Anything to be removed?
No.
No speaker cards?
No.
Is there a motion?
I'll move SACC1, Resolution SA01-24.
Is there a second?
I second that.
Let's vote. And it's unanimous. The consent calendar, anything to be removed?
No.
Thank you.
No speaker cards.
Is there a motion?
I'll move we adopt the consent calendar as currently comprised.
Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Let's vote. Passes unanimously. New business. Wow. This is great new business. You're going to love this. New business item 1, we'll hear the staff report.
Good evening, Mayor Paris, Vice Mayor Christ, and City Council members. The item before you this evening is a request to enter into a 6-month pilot program as part of a 3-year professional service agreement with Sound Thinking, Inc. for deployment of their shot spotter technology in the city of Lancaster. With me today is Terry Green, Sound Thinking's Western Regional Director, who will be speaking to you momentarily about this fantastic gunshot detection technology. I want to first speak to you briefly about our technology strategy and how ShotSpotter fits into it. Over the past year, Lancaster has seen a decrease in crime, violent crime, of 5.3%. This is due in part to the hard work of men and women of our Sheriff's Department in conjunction with the Public Safety Department. And the technology that we've onboarded over the last 6 to 12 months. This is especially
substantial when
Can
you,
we move that back to the right? There we go. Thank you.
when you compare it to our surrounding cities. We see Palmdale had an uptick of 0.4%, so a slight increase. And Santa Clarita was up over 10% with their crime stats this past year. So our drop was significant when you compare. Consistent with your Digital Shield initiative, Mayor, the Public Safety Department has been onboarding technology. The flock camera system we've had now for nearly a year has been instrumental in capturing or solving many crimes, capturing many suspects who were trying to flee or trying to evade. We've implemented a UAS program. Our drone program has several pilots now throughout the city. Our drone program is used in many of our departments, including Public Works, Parks. We use it for city events, but we also do provide air service for the Sheriff's Department as requested, and even today provided air support for an LAPD FBI request when they captured a homicide suspect in the city. Our intersection cameras, we have, I believe, 300 cameras throughout the city, monitoring traffic, trying to reduce our traffic collisions, people who are speeding, people who are running through crosswalks, that sort of thing. And we have plans now for the future to incorporate those into our Intel and Crime Analysis Center, where we'll be able to overlay AI processes onto those and incorporate those in addition to our flock cameras for investigative purposes. We're working on programs to connect local businesses and their camera systems into our system with the city, so we can do a community partnership as we engage these processes to lower crime, create a safer environment for the city of Lancaster, and solve crimes. AI crime analysis, we currently have a full-time crime analysis that works in our crime analysis center, and we're implementing predictive analytics where, and that can be controversial on its surface, predictive analytics in a way where we think there may be crime, and so we go there and start looking at people. We do not do that. I want to be very clear. What we do is, I'm sorry, sir?
Why don't we?
So those programs came in some of the larger cities over the last several years, and they were proven to be ineffective in targeting a specific people. And that's not what we do in public safety. Rather, what we do is monitor and predict what we expect and what our expectations of crime would be in certain areas. And if we see things that vary from that, such as an uptick in a certain area, then we need to focus resources on that area because it's starting to escalate. So we look at it as a response method. And then finally, gunshot detection we're bringing into, or asking to bring into the city. And this allows us to get a report of a gunshot or gunshots within seconds of it occurring, rather than waiting for somebody to be shot, injured, and then somebody to find them, and then somebody to call 911, and then that call to go out. This system that we're looking at would actually push that within seconds out to the patrol cars, both Sheriff's Department and our PD. So we could respond quickly and effectively to get help to people who need it. And with that, I'm going to introduce you to Terry Green. She is from ShotSpotter or Sound Thinking, and she'll be telling you about the product.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Good evening, Mayor Paris, Vice Mayor, City Council members. I'm so honored to be here today, and thank you for this opportunity. I'm excited to bring a pilot to you all for gunshot detection. I'm proud to work for Sound Thinking. Let me figure this out here. Sound Thinking is the name of our company. For many years, we've been known as ShotSpotter, but we've essentially increased our product suite, and we have more investigative components and tools. So last year, we changed our name to Sound Thinking, and ShotSpotter remains the name of our gunshot detection and location system. It's a 6-month pilot, which includes everything: deployment, the sensors, our service, best practices. I'll touch on that in a little bit, and I'll try to get through this pretty quickly. And Terry Green, I'm based in Orange County. I am from LA.
Hurry.
Okay,
This is
well, I was
really
told I had like
important stuff.
4 minutes. Make it good.
You have as much time as you want.
Just to let you know, we've been around for 27 years. We have over 150 cities that use the system. over 40 patents on our technology, over 1,000 miles of coverage within the cities that have gun violence. And we have a 99% retention rate among our law enforcement customers. Can you all hear me pretty well? Okay. One of the challenges that cities face that have gun violence is that a lot of times gunfire goes unreported. Some people are skeptical of this number, but there have been analyses done, such as the Brookings Institute, which show that there's an average of, or sometimes higher, of 80% of gunfire that goes unreported. You might say, why? I mean, we report everything. But I'll tell you the reasons that we hear as we talk to customers and our cities across the new cities across the country. We are global, by the way. We have some deployments in South Africa. And we also are throughout the entire United States. But why do people not call 911? These are the common reasons. Recognition. A lot of times you hear something and you're not sure if it's gunfire. You think it might be fireworks. You think it could be anything. And you don't want to call and waste resources. Retaliation. I don't want to call and worried that, if they see a police officer at my door, they're going to retaliate. Redundancy. Sometimes you think, you know what, my neighbor's going to call. They always call. And the last one is resignation. And in some cities, in some areas, some people feel that why bother? They never come. And that's the saddest reason. And a lot of times, even if a call does come in, it comes in late or it comes in inaccurately because you don't always know where gunfire occurred. You wait, you hear it, you think it's maybe closer than it seems. On average, it's about 780 feet away. We've done a study across our client base, and that's the average of being that far away from what the reporting party called in. And so the lack of being able to get the location is crucial for your officers and deputies to get to the scene to save lives, to find these victims and render assistance. So ShotSpotter, the name of our gunshot detection program. I'm going to play this video, hopefully. Let me see if I can. Thank you. All right.
It starts with acoustic sensors that are placed on buildings or lampposts throughout a neighborhood. If a gun is fired anywhere in the area, multiple sensors detect and timestamp the sound. The precise location of the gunshot is determined based on the amount of time it takes for the sound of the gunshot to travel to each individual sensor, effectively triangulating the sound. The exact location of the detected gunshot is indicated by a dot on a map. Once an alert is generated, it is immediately sent to our IRC, or Incident Review Center, where trained acoustic experts then analyze each incident in mere seconds, determining if the sound is gunfire. ShotSpotter acoustic analysts receive extensive training on reviewing and classifying gunfire by distinguishing gunshots from other impulsive sounds that are not gunshots. In addition, they are trained to append additional contextual information, such as multiple shooter alerts or full automatic weapons alerts, that can prove to be essential tactical intelligence for law enforcement agencies responding to these crimes. The entire transaction takes place in less than 60 seconds.
I play this video because it's a lot easier to play a quick video than to show you 37 slides and explain how ShotSpotter works. So you have the visual of the IRC, or our incident review. And what they're doing is appending information beyond the sensors that pick up gunfire with high probability and high accuracy in the way that we triangulate. We add things like full auto, high-capacity weapons, information for the deputies and officers to get them to the scene and give them a little more intel. If the shooter's moving, it's going to track their speed at which they're traveling and show you the shot markers, essentially, that are coming to the phones and the MDCs and the cars for the officers and deputies. So we're giving them crucial intel that's also for their protection, for the officers and deputies responding. Notifications go to the dispatch center at the same time as they go to the deputies. If you approve, it's something you decide upon, procedural directive. But if you allow the deputies and the officers to get the alerts at the same time, they can be en route before the calls actually get dispatched. and then also to the patrol cars or their MDCs so they can see it and hear it and see the animation of the actual gunfire and the shot markers. So it's the animation of the order in which those rounds are fired. They can see exactly where the shots are occurring. So that means we're going to get them to the closest address by geolocating the address. But if the shooting has occurred in the middle of a park or behind a home or in an alley, we're going to take the deputy and officer directly to the alley. It shows up like this on the phones, and it allows them to play the audio, see the visual, get turn-by-turn instructions if it's necessary, it's optional, and so much more. A lot of times the officers can get there before a call ever comes in. And when they arrive, they hopefully have life-saving techniques, being able to put a tourniquet on a victim, as an example, getting them help, helping them to save lives, get them to the hospital faster. That's the ideal. Sometimes they make arrests. Maybe those arrests come later through the investigative component, which I'll talk about as well. The Insight program is the included essentially the database for your crime analysts and being able to see real-time and historical gunfire, where it's occurring, time of day, date stamp, or date and time stamp. You'll be able to do a lot of things with that analysis capability, which we help you with as part of our rollout. Analytical reports, custom dashboards, we can create those for you. They're all included in our service. And besides, this is free for 6 months, so it's all there. Collaboration, so you can collaborate with federal partners and other agencies. And our reports are court admissible. So if there's a homicide or an officer-involved shooting, as an example, we have forensic experts which will put together a court admissible report that shows things like trajectory, how the shots are being fired, et cetera. And we'll even help you with if you need to go to court. It'll show things like who shot first. So if you have a situation of self-defense, it's going to show exactly who shot first. And then again, we talk about the custom dashboards or monthly reports to show you how we're performing, if gunfire is going up or down, if the round count is going up or down. There's a lot of different ways to dissect that data. An example is so you can see this a little bit better from the phone. This is a 16-round alert. You would see this on in the car as well. You'd be able to play the audio and play the round count. That's actually, you'd hear it, but that was just an example. High capacity. Every one of our alerts comes with an investigative lead summary that's immediately available. It is not court admissible. However, it gives where the shot markers have occurred, order in which the rounds are fired, especially if there's 2 or more shooters shooting at each other. It allows you to play the audio right from the latitude and longitude and the date and the timestamp. And that's something that can be emailed to a watch commander or someone, anyone really, the chief initially. But again, it's not court admissible, but they're available instantaneously with every alert. We also tell you where shootings are occurring around schools. And this is just a dashboard we'll create because we want you to see maybe some of the students that are affected by persistent gunfire. And we have a whole team, it's a part of our service, called a community engagement team. It's going to help you with outreach groups, putting together data that can help them in their efforts, talking to schools, trying to help maybe show them where students are vulnerable to gunfire who might live in the area of where persistent gunfire is occurring. It's called Data for Good, and it's just part of our service. And we started this last year, and we're having so much success from it. Street pastors use it. Going out to the houses of victims and talking to the families of victims. There's so many ways of using this data for good. Violence prevention, violence interruption groups. We want to help you with this, and this is going to be part of our rollout. Scope of services include a very thoughtful rollout. Best practices. We have command staff members who worked at different agencies that use ShotSpotter. We have a gentleman we hired who came from San Francisco PD who oversaw the ShotSpotter project and who's going to be the customer success director that'll be helping to roll this out in a very thoughtful and methodical way with the best practices, giving you, things that work, ideas, taking into consideration what the chief would like, how his procedural directives should work, and we help with all of that. We do training. We'll train around the clock so you don't have to bring in deputies and officers for overtime because we'll work around different shifts. Analytics, as we talked about, Go live support, we want to be here on the day you go live. We want to make sure it's a success, and we're going to help you. And then post-live, we check in on you. We have 24-hour support, but we have that dedicated customer success rep or customer success director, and I'm really proud of our team. They do such a great job with ongoing consultative services, et cetera. What was that other word we talked about earlier in the beginning? Something that comes up often is privacy. We want you to know that we've been through privacy commissions like San Francisco PD and Oakland. They have the strongest, or Oakland has, from what I understand, one of the most strict, or the strictest privacy commission, and we've passed multiple years. We've also had an independent audit detecting, just looking at our whole practice and helping us make decisions to change certain things about our technology to minimize what people might think, pick up conversations and things like that. We only pick up loud, impulsive noises, and that was all put through this New York policing project for an audit. So I wanted to touch on that because that does come up often. Just quickly, some results from real customers. Pasadena went live almost 2 years ago, and they've seen a reduction in gunfire. They've also been able to find victims in the middle of parks, as an example. They've done really well with the program. Fresno Police, Paco Valderrama, the chief, he's amazing. They do so much on their social media, talking to their community about how this is effective, how their officers are responding to alerts and saving lives and finding victims, and they're just really prolific with their social media in such a positive way, and I'd love to help with your city be prolific with your success stories. Sacramento County Sheriff uses it, as does the police department. And they do a lot of social media, both on their Facebook page, LinkedIn, Twitter, or X. They've improved their response time because of ShotSpotter, and we'll help you with that as part of our best practices. Chicago uses it, and they saved a 13-year-old child, a boy who was shot. One of the things they allowed for this particular call was for the officers to put the boy in the car and get him to the hospital to save his life. They did not have the time to wait for the emergency vehicle to arrive. Lastly, one of my favorites, James Craig, from what I understand, used to work for LAPD. He was the chief of Detroit. When we launched ShotSpotter, within the first week, they had a ShotSpotter alert that led officers to a house. There was something about the house where the officers got a search warrant. When they searched the entire house, including the basement, they found tables full of illegal guns, ghost guns. The way we were notified, or the way we notified Detroit, is they were going out in the backyard and test firing those guns. And so in the backyard, there were 75 plus spent shell casings, and not one 911 call ever on that residence. And so this was a proud moment for this chief to talk about the ghost guns they were taking off their streets. Lastly, we want to make your community safer, support your police, support your sheriff. It was great to hear that story about the deputies saving lives. So we're just honored to give this opportunity for you to try it and prove that it's going to work for you. And thank you for this opportunity tonight.
Thank you.
So there are a couple of features that we looked at when we were looking for this type of technology. One was near real time, which they do provide. Two was a strict privacy concern. Everything that public safety is implementing in the realm of technology is looked at through best practices nationally for a privacy point of view. And then also a test program. We like to try it before we buy it. So this is a 3-year engagement that we're asking, but the first 6 months is a free pilot that we have the ability to withdraw from during that 6-month period. So thank you for your consideration. If you have any questions.
So do you operate it? I mean, what service are we getting here?
You're getting a subscription, and when you say, do you operate it, what do you mean by that? I'm sorry.
I just wonder how the mechanics of it work.
So we put up sensors. They'll go on street lights, street poles, sometimes rooftops, and it's all done by us. We do the deployment. We get permissions where necessary. We handle anything that breaks as part of our service. It's a subscription model if you were to pay for it. And everything's included. Everything I talked about is included. So if something breaks or the sensors stop working or whatever may happen to them, we'll come out and replace them. We overbuild it so that if something does break, it still is good enough to keep triangulating that location for the officers and deputies. So it's all handled by us on the service aspect.
Thank you. So when is it operational?
Well, first you have to say yes. And when you say yes, we're going to work quickly to get that done. We understand you own your streetlights here in the city, which will make it a lot easier to deploy because there's fewer permissions to have to obtain. If everything goes well and we can use a lot of your streetlights, we can get you live, according to my deployments team, by maybe end of February, which is next month.
By February?
Don't hold me to it, but that's what they said. Is everything, if we can use those streetlights, that would be helpful, and if we can
When does the 6 months start?
As soon as you go live. Okay, so even if you were to sign the
So if it
contract.
takes you 2 months to put it up, that's not part of the 6 months.
No, we want to give you full 6 months of usage.
Okay, so if we approve it tonight, can you guarantee me it's up in February? That's not hard.
Sir, we have done a lot of research, or required a lot of research before even considering bringing this here. In that research we conducted, we identified a 4 square mile area of the city that we want to cover. So this will be limited to a 4 square mile area.
I'm sorry, Marvin was being rude.
No, it's fine, sir. Go ahead.
Maybe March.
Yeah, 30 days.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Marvin brings up a good point. We'd like it March 1st.
So in the research phase of this, like I said, before we brought this to you, we wanted to make sure that it was feasible for this city. We identified a 4 square mile area that we'll be covering. It will not be the entire city, it'll be a 4 square mile area. We did that through analysis, but both our crime analyst and the Sheriff's Department's crime analyst and ShotSpotter's crime analyst, they work together to determine those locations.
And what is the cost based on? Is it a per miles?
Per square mile,
per square
yes,
mile?
per square mile.
And this cost is the 4 square miles, right? The cost of our
Yes,
presentation.
per square miles,
Yeah.
per square miles.
What's being presented for consideration is the 4 square mile project. And in that, they had to identify locations that would be feasible for them to use, what city property. So we have a large run-up already on getting this done. Once we do get an approval, less than 30 days is what I'm told we can be on.
So what's the downside?
Well, gunfire continues to happen, and you may not know about it. How do you respond if you're not getting a 911 call?
No. What's the downside if we do this? What are you not telling me?
What is the downside? Chris, help me out here. I can't see one because I only hear positive things from our customers.
What about the defund the police movement? Are they going to be upset about this?
They might be.
Why would the defund the police movement be upset about this?
I have wondered the same question. Honestly, this works. I have customers that tell me my customers are all law enforcement customers. Our retention rate's 99%. Our law enforcement customers do not buy technology that doesn't work. And so, yes, there are people out there that might think, defunding the police, why do this? But if this can save lives, if this can give your officers and deputies more intel to respond in a better way to gunfire rather than driving aimlessly, I honestly can't see a downside.
Yeah, but what I'm asking you, are we going to take political heat like from BLM, cancel the contract, all the defund the police movements?
Sir, I don't know if ShotSpotter is that controversial, but in my opinion.
Say yes, and we're going to vote for it.
In my opinion, these types of technologies actually benefit both sides because it can direct resources where they need to be instead of into neighborhoods where maybe they didn't need to be in the first place.
So when is the digital dome operational?
So this is part of that.
In its entirety. So it's almost impossible to commit a crime in this city without getting arrested.
Maybe, Chris, you can share with some of the things you've
Wait a
been...
minute, I'm not interested in people laughing about this. I am dead serious.
Yes, sir.
When is that dome going to be operational?
Chris, maybe share some of the video camera stuff today that we're in the process right now of selecting that vendor and how long that's going to take.
So we're well down the road, as you know, of adopting technology, but we're also looking at engaging further technology. One of those things is what I call lighting up the city with our existing cameras, things we already have. But the tools from products that we've looked at like today and are continuing to over the next couple of weeks will enable us to, with, I'll say, bionic investigative capabilities and certain things that we'll be able to do with those cameras and those video feeds, largely from an AI component, which is fantastic.
And let me add, that rollout is a software system. We already have the infrastructure in place. So the speed of that, once the technology is selected, it should be a quick run-up to get those implemented from an IT perspective. That's, the infrastructure's there. We're adding on that software component to add to that digital shield.
So when is it going to be operational?
We're going to select the vendor probably a month from now. You'll see that probably the first or second meeting in February, and then the deployment after that. It's probably a month or two, I'm guessing. So hopefully April or May.
Agreed, sir.
So with the addition of the AI software we're purchasing, the flock cameras, which are already up and running, right?
Yes, sir.
What are these? Gunshot, what do you call them?
Gunshot
detection, shot spotter, yeah.
Okay, that. What else do we need for the digital dome?
The pieces we're looking at right now, which are the video pieces, create or facilitate a way for us to connect all of our video sources. We have a lot of video infrastructure in place, so we're good there. We just need a way to connect everything, which includes all the things that are existing, our traffic cams, our flock cams, but then also our drone, our body cams, all of that type of thing we can all incorporate into the systems we're looking for right now. Once we get that on, it's on, and we have access to all of it.
I would add, sorry, Chris, there's also opportunities to community partner with the schools, you know, Costco's, the retailers, whoever has cameras, the opportunity to import those video feeds as well to add to this system. So when you look at the shield, that shield goes beyond just our infrastructure. It also has the opportunity to include third-party infrastructure as well as other government entities locally that could share that information with us.
If we do this, if we do the whole thing, Rob, does that make us the most technologically advanced city for crime prevention?
We definitely will be in this valley. I'd say probably in North County as well. I wouldn't be surprised if, in fact, I think the LAPD has a similar thing called the Speed Center or whatever they call it. But as far as local PDs, we definitely would. North County, we would. I know of no other sheriff's department policed areas that will have technologies like we have either.
Is there any obstacles that we can set aside for you?
No, sir. I think we're moving in a very positive direction. I'll also mention that the opening of our police station is a part of that, because that's where we want to have our Intelligence Crime Assessment Center, which is where all of this is going to be monitored. So we're excited because I think we have a July 1 date for that. And that's kind of where I'm seeing us being operational with all of this.
And where are we on relocating a SWAT team into Lancaster?
So I'm working with Captain Berrigan from Sheriff's Department SCB. So we're trying to figure that out. Unfortunately, he's down, I believe, 3 teams, Paul. And so the one thing that he is saying is that he is all in doing something like this, but he's got to get those teams staffed up. So the continued pressure that is being put on the Sheriff's Department is going to help us as well to fully staff, not just us up here, but those very important departments like that provide additional services to us up here.
Can we go forward with the infrastructure so that when they finally get enough manpower, we can be operational?
Depending on what the infrastructure is, we can evaluate facilities and ask Commander Berrigan what he wants and what he needs, and absolutely we can go ahead of get ahead of it.
You all agree they should proceed?
I have a couple questions.
I do too.
If this is 4 square miles, we have 95.5 square miles.
He's going down.
Have you done a cost analysis for if we fully implement this into the digital dome?
You're talking about for the 90-plus square miles, sir?
Yeah.
That would be easy
Can
for
we
us to.
afford it?
I think it would probably be cost prohibitive at that point. However, we don't have those high-intensity problems in every area. And so focusing on the areas where most or a majority of our gun violence is occurring is our best bang for the buck at reducing gun violence.
If we put it through, is there any gaps?
How we would roll it out if we tried to go as big as possible, is that what I think what you're asking?
I'm asking if we roll it out. I just don't want to roll it out on the east side. I want to roll it out amongst the city.
Understood. We can come back with a report for you on what that would cost.
Okay. The other thing, tell me what's going to happen the week before July 4th.
Fireworks. So our system, the human element beyond the sensors is to bring the accuracy up to high 90s, sometimes 100%. The system itself, the sensors do differentiate gunfire from fireworks, but there's an extra validation. And I don't know if you saw in the video that there was a team of people in front of computers, and what they see is the waveform pattern of the sound. Gunfire makes a very distinctive waveform pattern, like a Christmas tree lying down, whereas fireworks make a kind of omnidirectional approach. So we are able to differentiate like celebratory gunfire over fireworks. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. On the phone with me, I have Fred Melanowski. I forgot to introduce him, who can answer questions too. I don't know if he has audio. Fred, would you like to comment on that?
Yes. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yes.
Can you hear? Okay. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, we have the ability, and 4th of July obviously is a big time for fireworks, but also it's just New Year's Eve. And so we stood up and enhanced both of our centers this year on New Year's Eve, and we're able to be very accurate on the gunshots that we actually publish in 911 Center. So it's a little bit, when they look at those sound waves, it's a little bit like a cardiac surgeon looking at an EKG. They can almost immediately say, this is going to be a gunshot, and then they listen to it. So they can really differentiate between a gunshot and fireworks, and we enhance our IRCs during periods that we know 4th of July and New Year's Eve. And so we minimize sending police officers to alerts that are not gunshots.
Yes. So yeah, it's a verification process that we do. We also have a secondary incident review center in Washington, D.C. So if they're completely, as New Year's as an example, the time, everything's busy over on the East Coast. But by the time it gets to the West Coast, if we're full and viewing incidents, that's going to roll over to our incident review in D.C. But again, with through the technology and the human review element, we're able to decipher gunfire over other types of noises, like it's the slamming of a trash can or a backfire, things like that. We're not perfect, but we're pretty good. We're really good. Again, I think you'll find that.
One last question for me.
Yeah.
Your dashboard data, is that open to the public?
Not the way that the information is provided now. It's very specific information. Sometimes that's used in an investigation, and you may not want to disclose the data right away. Maybe you can help me answer this one.
Sure. So because this is an investigative tool, it would be up to the investigator or prosecutor to determine whether they wanted to release that information. It wouldn't be up to us to release the information as evidence going to an investigator.
But is it up to us?
Yes. And I mentioned there's these scorecards, or just to let you all know, how it's performing every month. You can get those no cost, just showing you, is your gunfire going up? Is it going down? We have a lot of ways of dissecting and helping you have access to the data here in the police department. But
I'm just thinking I would not want the dashboard data being used by a realtor to redline a district.
No.
That's not its intent, sir. It
know
really
it's
is
not
an
its intent.
investigative tool.
I think we would argue strongly that it's an investigative tool that should not be disclosed under the Public Records Act. I don't know that issue has arisen yet in the courts, but I can look into whether we can expect that to be problematic.
Yeah, Marvin asked one of my critical questions, knowing that this is 4 square miles, the cost involved, if, say, you launch it, we do the 6-month test, it's successful, then the question is raised using, I'm sure with IBM technology, Watson technology, we might want to roll it out, so then do we get a discount? So does it go proportionally down as you add square miles or no? Because you got an infrastructure?
It's done on a per square mile basis, and it's a flat rate to include everything, the review, the forensic services that come with it. I can't promise that. I can say that we can talk about that. There is also federal funding, so we can help with that. So there's grants that can afford this. I know there's UASI grants and Homeland Security grants and things like that. And we have a team that as part of the service can help with grants. There's also private funding. In some cities, trauma centers contribute to this. And I'd love to help you, provide stats that show that you're getting victims to these hospitals quicker.
Most cities
reducing the
aren't
cost.
as large as we are.
Are
Aren't as large. Simi Valley's 15 and a half square miles. Ventura is 15 square miles. We're 95 and a half. So would you look into it and 6 months from now come back and tell us what type of discount we're going to get for the volume?
Sure. The answer is yes.
Okay.
However, most of the time, and we have big cities, New York Police Department, it uses it, Chicago, the Sacramento County Sheriff uses it, Houston and Harris County use it, Denver, Las Vegas Metro. And generally, we do an analysis to show where the reported gunfire is occurring now, and then we kind of wrap around suggested coverage areas. None of these cities have their entire cities covered. So we really want to target the areas that need it most.
What's your rate of accuracy?
Well, with the sensors alone, it's about 90%. With the human review element, it puts it up to 97% or higher. Our service level guarantee is 90% or higher. And that scorecard will tell you how we're performing every month. I've seen them at 100%. It's not always there, but it's high 90s generally.
So how do you guarantee that?
We guarantee it in our contract. So if we don't perform at a certain level over a little bit of time, then there's a discount offered to you based on our service level guarantee.
There's a discount.
Yeah, but I don't want a discount for poor service.
No, I don't.
If you're gonna cover 95 miles, let's talk.
Yeah, it's just, my concern is the size of the city. Again, Marvin picked up real quick, we're not, one of our biggest challenges here is square miles.
Yes.
And
No, our biggest challenge is criminals.
that too. Well, in this particular application.
Well, my point is, I'm concerned that we not politicize this. I don't care what part of town it goes up in, if that's where the gunshots are. I want it deployed based upon where the danger zones are. And I don't really care about any other considerations. People can complain all they want about whatever they want to complain about. I want the homicide rate to drop dramatically. And the only way we do that is to ignore the politics of it and just do it based on the science of it. Which brings me to the next question. What cities have seen their homicide rate diminish as a result of this?
Several. But most recently, there was an article for East Palo Alto, which I believe was our very first customer 27 plus years ago.
They had the highest murder rate anywhere.
They do, and this year they've reported, at least when I read this article, which was yesterday, 0 homicides this year.
No one left.
That would make it a homicide.
We have several stories. Actually, I have.
No one left.
Pasadena has seen a decrease. That was what that slide was that I posted. Those are just local agencies. Bakersfield is a customer of ours as well.
So is everybody in agreement that we deploy based upon the efficacy of it? Did anybody have any
I think it shouldn't be our decision, it should be the chief's decision.
Okay.
And,
Well, no, it's our decision to give him the policy we want
Correct.
him to meet. And what I'm assuming is we're all in agreement that you do it based on the science, not on the politics. Okay?
yes, sir, absolutely, and that's what we're doing. We're working with the sheriffs to identify the areas where it's most needed and going to be most effective, so. And any future expansions or further deployments, we're going to do that same thing. We want the product to work.
Great. Okay. I think we're on our way. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good. David Paul.
Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, good evening. I rise tonight to talk about my concerns that many of you have mentioned parts of. You know, today is National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day, and I have had the opportunity recently to, working on the CAC, spend time with many deputies who talk about honestly and openly the challenges they face in life. One of them is being overworked. And, you know, I just wonder about this. If this is successful, we would need to bring prosecution and convictions. And that doesn't seem to be what the trend is. So, and there were just a couple of things that struck me, like, for instance, and we'll immediately dispatch. Who are you going to immediately dispatch? We don't have the personnel to do that. They're already stretched to the max, and they don't even get convicted. So we do want to fight crime. We want to know where gunshots are coming. But then you guys hit upon it, this 4-mile start. I would think that someone would have a map of where that 4 miles was going to be right now to show me. So have we thought that through, and you do have a map, or we haven't thought it through? And of course, 4 square miles doesn't cover a lot of territory in the city. So, you know, the cost of things always shocks me. And it just seems that that money could put a few more deputies or police officers on the street, and there is a lot of that technology already available. And I just know that gunshots are a thing, you know, I mean, we can't even handle our fireworks. We can't handle barking dogs. So I guess it's more serious with gunshots, but we are already overwhelmed. So I'm not sure how it's going to work. I would like to see where it's going to work. And I would like to know, with this newer layer of technology, what extra hurdle that puts on the authorities to convict people, because that will always be contested as the first newest thing. I'm not sure. There were some things I heard that I did like. So I'm not totally against the concept, but I'm just against the cost that will come that we're uncertain of, and where it will be placed and how it will be placed and when. And, you know, there's 3 parts of Murphy's Law. Everything is more difficult than you think. Everything takes more time than you think. And then anything that can go wrong will. So let's hold them to a standard of what we pick as when it rolls out. And then thank you for your decision.
This is late.
I know, it was late. Fran, it was late. I'm sorry.
Okay, because I didn't realize that that's what you were going to talk about.
Let me talk to you after the meeting, okay? Good.
Thank you.
That is a decision that has to be made. Are we going to tell people where it is? That's your decision, you know? I mean, there's a downside of telling people, because then they avoid the area, right? The idea is to make us as crime-proof as possible. And I recognize that we have a DA that doesn't think criminals should be prosecuted. You know,
Possibly with the upcoming election, we'll have him replaced.
it is, I mean, we have to deal with the reality that we're confronted with. Hopefully that will occur, but if it doesn't, we still have to deal with the reality we're confronted with. right now, we have to lower this crime rate. And I think that is the biggest priority we have. If we have to drive on dirt roads to pay for it, then let's drive on dirt roads. But our families have to be safe. I do not want anything stopping this. Okay? Thank you. You got that, Jason? This has to be the biggest priority of the city right now, is to make this city safer for our families, right? Now, I don't think we're being overly ambitious to say we can drop the crime rate 50% in the next 12 months if we get this up and running quickly. So don't let there be any delays, all right? If you need some motivation, every month we delay, how many people get hurt because of our delay? I mean, this thing is ultimately designed to save lives, all right? Thank you. Is there a motion?
I do, but I have a clarification.
Okay.
You're asking for the recommendation to do the 6-month pilot and the 3-year agreement. So what happens if we don't like the program in the initial agreement?
We don't do the 3-year
You want me to take it?
agreement.
But it's in one motion.
So we will be coming back to you if there's questions or concerns after 6 months.
I'm saying the
Yeah.
recommendation
The rec-
is to do the 6 months and the 3-year now.
Correct, because that's how the contract is structured. If we want to exit after 5 months and 29 days, then we would give notice to them and the contract would terminate. So we can come back to you at the 5-month mark and see how it's going, give you a report, provide that information, and then have you make the decision about whether you want to stay in.
Okay, with that clarification, I'll move NB1.
I'll second that motion.
Before we vote, the last speaker did have a point in that why don't we just hire more police officers? It's because we can't. I mean, we paid for them, we just don't have them. There's not enough people going into law enforcement to fill all of the seats that are vacant. We have to do something different, and this is the best option I think we've found, isn't it?
Absolutely, sir. I'll just add, the cost of a deputy sheriff is quite a bit more than this system is per year, but I think we all would love to have more deputy sheriffs.
One deputy costs more than the system?
Yeah, one deputy per year costs more than the system. But obviously, we'd all love to have more deputies out there, but.
Are you saying that's citywide or 4 miles?
For the system, the 4 miles that we're paying for now, or that we're saying we want to pay for, a deputy sheriff is, I believe, about 100,000, maybe 200,000 more.
So do we get 6 months free if we want to do additional 4 square miles somewhere else?
They should give us 6 months free.
If we expand, we get a 6 month.
I cannot answer that question without my senior vice president.
It will be asked.
And I will bring the big guns.
Speaking for myself, Rod, I don't care what you have to do. We cut this crime rate in half. The crimes where people get hurt. That's what I'm talking about.
Sir.
Crimes where people get hurt. We cut it in half in 12 months.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is that a realistic goal?
That's going to be hard to speak on whether we can cut it in half, sir, but what I will tell you is that we are going to reduce crime, and we're going to reduce violent crime. Working together with the Sheriff's Department, bringing the technologies, the support of this council that we have, we are going to reduce crime.
Can I elaborate a little bit, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah.
So our,
50%, Paul, 50%.
okay. So,
Scared you guys. Yeah, we do sit back here.
I think one of the big issues that's going to be beneficial to the city is that a lot of times we get phone calls of gunshots. And because of buildings and other issues in the area, our deputies don't get to the exact location, and we don't find that. With this technology, it'll give us exact locations to respond to, which means either saving victims' lives, maybe encountering suspects, arresting suspects, or even gathering that evidence that's going to get put into a system to solve crimes down the road.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm excited about this.
Yeah.
This is revolutionary. We should be talking to the fire department how to integrate it. We'll talk.
I'm excited about it too.
Thank you. Thank you. So have we voted yet?
I did.
We have a motion and a second.
Okay, you got your 6 months, and we're looking for the discount. Thank you. Okay, that brings us to council reports.
I'll start.
Okay.
We did have our AVTA toy and food giveaway. I think it was the 16th of December, and over 2,400 people were in line to receive food, toys, so we were able to accommodate a large portion. The line actually went to, from AVTA to L8 to 7th Street, down 7th Street, back to 6th Street, back to Avenue M, down to the courthouse, in the courthouse, turnabout, down to Cerro Highway, and down to Avenue L. So, long line, good kudos to both cities, but it was a good time that you could, the churches, the unions, the city, the nonprofits, everyone came together to work together to make it work. And all of you were there, so I appreciate it. And that was one of the big things that happened.
Also, that same day, we had Wreaths Across America, and we left the leader over at AVTA, and the other four of us started out our morning at the Lancaster Cemetery, and we were able to put wreaths on at least 1,200 veterans that have fallen, graves that are interned at the Lancaster Cemetery. And I think the mayor said it quite well about how important we need to stop and remember the people that keep us safe. So, thank you much.
You know what I actually said was, all that we have, all that we own, all that we honor, all that makes us different than the rest of the world was the result of veterans. And we oftentimes forget that. But we would have none of it but for veterans. That's what I actually said. Okay, thank you. Raj?
Actually, I wanted to talk about the AVTA that it was not only a food, but bikes and gift cards and, toys. And so it was just an entire family thing. And it was such a good thing to see that smile on kids' face and family. So it was a really great gift before Christmas. So really enjoyed it.
It was a great day.
It was a great day.
Rocio.
Well, we do have a
Do you have
video,
anything?
if you want to play it for the, I'm sorry, Rex, or Mayor. We have a video for the
You can
food
call me
giveaway.
Rex, it's all
I know.
Yes, please.
Hello, everyone. It's Angel from L28 News, and the team here at L28 is bringing you coverage of the 2023 AVTA Drive-Through Stuff-A-Bus and Food Giveaway, where there's tons of food, tons of toys, and even more volunteers. Let's check it out. Just in time for the holidays, the team over at AVTA worked tirelessly to prepare their 29th annual drive-through food and toy giveaway for the residents of the Antelope Valley. James Royal, the AVTA's Director of Marketing, shares a few words with our viewers.
When you talk about months, we really did start this back in July and August, but the work really started right after Thanksgiving, and we could have done it without the Antelope Valley community. So many toys were donated, so many sponsors supported this. The cities of Palmdale, the city of Lancaster, the Antelope Valley Sheriff's Boosters, It's been an amazing, concerted group effort to get this job done, and the day is finally here, and we are excited.
The ABTA drive-through food and toy giveaway wouldn't have been possible without the help of all those involved, as volunteers of all ages and backgrounds worked throughout the event to ensure that the tables stayed stocked with coats and toys, creating an efficient flow that kept the lines moving.
It's a magnificent day, but more than just Palmdale and Lancaster. Look at all of the labor folks that are here, IBEW, Teamsters, the iron workers, they're all here. You know, it's a partnership of the entire community coming together to help people who need help this year.
It just speaks volumes of all our community members here who are involved. Like the mayor was saying, we have both the city of Lancaster and the city of Palmdale. We have unions, we have churches, we have nonprofits, and we're leading by example. We're giving with our hearts, we're giving with purpose, and we're giving so that our community can come together and that they can come together to love on each other and to just celebrate the reason of this season. And that's just giving and loving. And so we're so excited to lead by example, and we hope that others follow our lead.
That was a great day. It really was. It really brought home just how many people are suffering from food insecurity in this valley. And the reason I loved what we did out there was because they were all families. They were all people who lived here. They were not people they let out of the prisons. You know, they were real people. And we fed a lot of them. And we're now working with Salva to continue that. What is it, once every 2 weeks, or what, do you know?
Yeah, we're working through the details, but yeah, there'll be a regular food giveaway with not only Salva, but also the other church, Grace, and some other entities as well.
Okay, terrific. The point of it being is these are our people. They live here, you know? It is our obligation to take care of them, to help them in every way that we can. They are not people that were dumped on us. I mean, let's say it the way it is. And I think I really liked that we were directing our energies there. And it was a day filled with children smiling. I mean, how often do you get that? It was a wonderful day. So thank you, Marvin. That wouldn't have happened but for you.
We do good work. The city of Lancaster, city of Palmdale together as a team does good work together.
So moving on, we have no financing authority, no power authority action at this time. City manager, do you have any announcements?
I just want to note, we did a short video for commemorating 2023, and we'll play that right now.
Did you see me out there?
always find it interesting to reflect on 2023. That was just some of the highlights of some of the things you've accomplished through your citizens and your staff. But what I've shared with staff on a regular basis is we're regularly only competing against ourselves. Is we continue to raise the bar, not because of what other people are doing, because we want to do it better. So 2024, I can assure you, is going to have a greater video, more communications, more public safety, more communities, more parks, more of everything, because we try to step up our game every year. And at the end of the day, we're competing against ourselves, and this staff does it every day regularly to do something better next year than they did this year, not only individually, but from a citywide basis. So shout out to the staff, shout out to the council. 2023 was fantastic, and 2024 is going to be even better. So that's all I have. Oh, wait. Just this Sunday, we got a big event coming up. We got a number of groundbreakings, Mariposa Park, starting the groundbreaking the police department, ribbon cutting pickleball center, groundbreaking. So a lot of those things we started in 2023 are coming to fruition, starting construction or finishing construction. So the next month is going to be a launching of many different programs that we got going on. So, and the event the 14th is essential, and we'll all be there.
Thank you. Rod, did you see how they snuck in that part with you crying?
Sir, I'm telling you, the vice mayor keeps putting these tacks in my shoes.
I had to keep him awake.
Rod, I am so thrilled you're with us. You have made such a remarkable difference. And this year is where we see it in the numbers. Since so much of it was about crime, I want you guys to think about, should we be more transparent on where our rankings are, what's happening, who's committing the crimes? Well, it says I must have fallen. I'm okay. All right. So I would like us to have a policy as to actually what goes out, right? Me, I'd give it all. But I recognize other people have different opinions in regards to that. But what I would like to deal with is, you know, there's a felon in Palmdale that used to have a high position in the city who's posting things like we're the one of the 10 most dangerous cities. I know that's not true. But I think the only way we deal with that misinformation that is being deliberately put out is to give accurate information. So next week, let's have a policy. What goes, you know, I don't want to hide anything. I want it so that at least we know what's happening other places and how we fit into all that. I think that you dropping crime, major crime, 5%, 5.6%, in that short of period of time is remarkable. If we continue with that, are you listening to this, Paul? If we continue with that, I'm at 50%, right? I'm just asking you to do what you've been doing. Thank you.
I think we have all of everything that you talked about. You've done it for 10 years through the Criminal Justice Commission. Everything that he's asking for is presented at the Criminal Justice Commission. So the maps of where the crime is being committed and the problem spots in the city are being shown at the Criminal Justice Commission. If the people want to look in the right places, it's shown on L28.
The problem is they may not necessarily want to look, but you got people feeding misinformation deliberately. We need to recognize that, and we need to counter it in an appropriate fashion. All right? Right?
I disagree. I disagree because I don't think we should give credence to someone that's been convicted of a felony. That's out there spreading rumors. I think the people that care can go in and look. We've had it up. We show people we're competitive with the cities of Malibu and Paso Robles and San Luis Obispo as for our crime rate. We do good. For our demographics, we do good.
And Paul, you're doing that with half the manpower you need. I mean, that is what's truly remarkable.
Yeah.
Half the manpower on any given day. It's truly remarkable. And they have time to go pull people out of burning cars, which brings me to the question, where was the fire department?
Exactly what I was asking.
Which raises the other issue. Are we on top of what we talked about in regards to Wi-Fi and all that?
Yeah, we got race connected to them and Wi-Fi. I think it's already installed, right? And paid for, so I think we're good. I'll verify with IT, but it's already been done.
Good. Thank you.
But I know the mayor meant it as a joke, but the fire department is the busiest. Our station 33 is the busiest in the county.
By a factor of how many? It's not just busier, it's like multiple busier than the next busiest department.
2 or 3 times.
It's incredible. All right, good. Anything else I should be?
City clerk.
City clerk.
This is the time to address the City Council Agency Authority on non-agendized matters. Speaker cards may be found on the back table. If you have completed one, please ensure you have placed it in the basket so that you may be recognized. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. Please keep in mind, state law prohibits the City Council from acting on items not on the agenda. Your matter may be referred to the City Manager. Thank you.
Mr. Paul.
Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council, thanks for the great night, and that was a fantastic presentation, the certificate for the deputies. That's incredible work they do, and we do our best. They do our best. We all do our best, and sometimes that's just a difficult task. You know, there were a couple of more things that came to my mind, and Vice Mayor, I'm glad you reminded the mayor of the Criminal Justice Commission. That's tomorrow, sir. You can come, and they do a really good job of presenting these crime stats, and that it's probably the least publicized, best meeting anywhere in this valley or even the county, because it's an incredible collection of all law enforcement and fire and other services, parole, probation come in and lay it out. And it's sometimes, you know, it's kind of grisly sometimes. And I come here all pumped up and then I leave sad because the job is so hard. But I just wanted to confirm one thing. So when these gunshots come in on the phone, I heard that they're going to come into the police station. And how do they get to the deputies' phones that are in the field to see this instantaneously? That's part of the expectation, that it's routed to both places simultaneously, or does our city police department then have to do something with the sheriff's department with that information? So there might not be an answer for that, and I'm sure we'll work it out, but I would like to cut the crime rate as well. So Captain Bartlett, 50%, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Fran, did you want to talk?
Yes, if I may.
Of course I don't mind.
Thank you.
That's good?
Yes, thank you.
I hear you're running for council. Is that true?
Excuse me?
I hear you're running for council. Is that true?
Yes.
Good luck.
I'm gonna try.
Good luck.
I'm gonna give it my best shot. That's what I always do, and I'm here for the community, as you know, and I'm here for all of you. But anyway, that's not here.
I'd like you sitting next to me, so I can move him down there.
No.
I hit him when he gets out of line.
Thank you very much. You made my day today. Thank you. But I wanted to, on that shot spotter, I need to speak to you that separately, because I brought my card up because I didn't know that's what you were going to talk about, and I didn't know what the contents was, and I had some questions on that. can I speak of it now, or just what,
Sure, whatever you want.
because I have I wrote them down real quick. How will, let's see, how will the gunshots is coming, when the gunshots are going into this office that's screening all these shots, and how and when are they going to deploy the sheriffs to get there, and how fast will the sheriffs get there, and when they're going to be on camera, are they going to be able to see the person that did the shooting, or are they dispersing, after they shoot? Where do
Man, we're not going to tell you all of our secrets.
Yeah. Well, that's one of my.
This is just part
Right. No.
of the net.
Right. No, I understand, and that's good that you're not going to tell us everything, because we want the public to know what we're doing and what's happening, but we can't give them everything, because then what happens is the wrong side of the fence gets all the information, and then they use it against us. That's what I feel. This is my opinion.
Or they avoid it. They avoid the areas.
Yeah.
This is not for the purpose of putting people in jail.
No, no.
It's for the purpose of keeping our families safe.
Right.
I've said it, 6 months from now, you'd be crazy to commit a crime in Lancaster under the dome.
Yeah.
Because if you do, we're going to know, and we're going to know who you are and where you went.
That's right.
Okay.
And I'm always looking out. On my own, I'm a neighborhood watch. And my neighbor and I were always out there. My gosh, my 3 minutes are already up. And
You
okay.
want 3 more minutes, Fran?
Okay. My next question on the cost, who's going to, is this the city cost, is the city paying for all of this, or is it going to come out of our taxes? Are we going to end up paying for part of this, or what? Or we don't know yet?
Both.
Oh, both?
Both. There's grants available for it. The city has money for it. And that is the top priority of the city, is to reduce crime.
Okay, great, yeah.
You know, the 88 cities in LA County, if we're not the most financially sound, we're close to it.
Right.
I mean, we have the ability to fix this crime problem, even if the DA doesn't want to prosecute crimes, and we're going to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this, this is getting out that Lancaster is bad, and we have all this crime, and like you said, that's the wrong. If people got the wrong impression of Lancaster, 110%. They don't live here, so they don't know what really goes on. So, and that bothers me because it hurts me because I live here, and they think right away that Lancaster is a bad place to live. But thank you. One more thing. Oh, I guess the timing for the time of the shooting, the timing for the law enforcement to get to where the shots were fired from. I guess I know what the question I'm asking. There's a lot of things that have to be done and analyzed and so forth, but these are just thoughts that I came to my mind that I don't know, might help or not help. And as far as the subject real quick, ABTA for the Christmas giveaway and the food, oh my God, that was wonderful. I was so great. I enjoyed it. But almost skirting around. I was helping everybody all the way around, and it was so much fun. And I think we gave away 225 or 200 some odd bicycles. That was a lot of bicycles.
311.
Oh, 300. Okay, I'm off 100. So give me a break. No, but it was great, and I want to keep on doing it. I did it last year, and I want to keep on doing it. And what can I tell you guys? You're wonderful, and the city is great. I love it, and thank you very much. And I've been here enough. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you, Fran. Any comments before we go? The next meeting is scheduled, oh, wait a minute, do we have a closed session?
Not tonight.
Good. The next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024 at 5 p.m. This meeting is adjourned. Carol, my day is done, and I'm coming home.